This is our house-made Chardonnay cheese with poached pear and candied walnut on endive. We got a cheese and caramelized onion and phyllo over there, and that's our famous mini mac shooter, and this is going to be a fillet of fish kind of a thing made out of a wheat protein called seitan. No meat, no dairy.
This is a grilled lemon rosemary seitan with an artichoke tortellini.
Well, Farm Sanctuary started back in 1986, and at the time, we didn't really know very much about what was happening to animals. And so we wanted to see what was going on these farms. And we started visiting factory farms, stockyards, and slaughterhouses. And we would literally find living animals thrown on piles of dead animals, or living animals thrown in trash cans. I am the president and co-founder of Farm Sanctuary. We're an organization that works to change how society views and treats farm animals.
They also take in these sick and downed and injured animals and they nurse them back to health.
I went to a farm sanctuary and got to see these animals that were rescued from a slaughterhouse. I mean, they were going to be murdered, and they're now living a happy and peaceful life, and you can look at them and you can tell. I mean, and it's just such a different world for them, and it's an exciting thing to see.
There's tons of beautiful animals that are living out there peacefully and naturally and gracefully the way that God designed it to be.
They're living free on this amazing property. There's just so much space for them to roam, and they're treated so well.
When you touch these animals for the first time, you're like, oh my God, I've never touched a turkey unless I was putting a piece of it in my mouth for Thanksgiving. I haven't.
I went up to Farm Sanctuary to the shelter in Watkins Glen, and I had a turkey sit on my lap. And the turkey cooed like a baby and felt like petting my dogs or my cats. And I'd been such a dog lover, and it was an aha moment for me.
I never touched a pig, I never touched a dairy cow. And to feel them, and then the dairy cows wanted to be pet, kind of like big dogs.
These are animals that oftentimes come in afraid, and so when they first see people, they want nothing to do with us because of what they have been through. But as time goes, and as they recognize that there are some people that are being nice to them, they then start to trust, and then they start to play and become who they are. And it's a beautiful thing to watch animals who knew only fear change.
All this information is so clearly embedded in our heads, and we want to share it with the world, and I think it's very frustrating knowing that so many people just don't know.
They're not given the coverage of what's going on inside those factory farms and slaughterhouses. They don't want to show you that. That's a huge news story. And if you ever see factory farm and slaughterhouse footage, you'll know that it's a nightmare. I mean, it's a terrible thing for those animals. It's a terrible thing for the environment, and then it's a terrible thing to put in your body. I mean, it's a triple banger why factory farms are a terrible thing.
These animals are confined so tightly they can't even turn around. They're in these small cages their whole lives.
Gestation crates.
Yeah. Gestation crates for pigs, veal crates for calves, and battery cages for egg-laying hens.
There's turkeys there that their skin is so thin they can't even mate anymore because they would rip the animal apart, the female apart. So all turkeys are artificially inseminated.
Most people would be shocked to see how animals are raised on these factory farms, but unfortunately people are unwittingly supporting the system by buying meat, milk, and eggs from these industrial operations. There's a real strong incentive not to show people what's happening. I mean, they've passed laws making it illegal to take pictures at these places and making
Considered a terrorist.
That's right. So it's they really have something to hide, and that says something too.
Factory farms are the most inhumane and horrible places on earth.
It's important to open up the people's eyes about what's really going down, how the meat industry is poisoning people, poisoning the planet, what's being done to the animals.
We're told things that aren't really aren't true, to be sold stuff that's not good for us. I mean, we are literally being sold meat from diseased animals.
In the China study, Dr. Campbell says that, foods obviously cause or stop and prevent cancer, and that animal protein was linked to causing and promoting every single stage of cancer, and that plant foods not only arrested cancer but also reversed it.
I've lost a lot of people to cancer and all kinds of stuff because of what they've been eating.
My husband is diagnosed with 2 cancers, 2, bladder cancer and lung cancer. And as a result of becoming a vegan, he's been able to put his 2 cancers in remission without chemotherapy and without radiation.
Cancer and heart disease are the top killers in this country, and the risks of both could be significantly decreased by eating plants instead of animals.
The only sane alternative is veganism, which of course is bad for big agribusiness.
And he's like, yeah, every vegetarian I see looks like a skinny little pussy. And I said, well, dude, I've been a vegetarian 28 years. You want to spar like 3 rounds? Then he like changed up real quick, and he's like, no, like, you know, where do you get your protein? I'm hooked up with Mike Mauler, the kettlebell dude, Mac Danzig from the UFC, all these guys. And you look at them and say, yo, where do you get your protein? They're gonna slap you.
Has anybody here ever heard of anyone dying from protein deficiency?
I know, it's
Just a question.
The only nutrient people know about. Have you ever gone to dinner with somebody and they say, I need protein? They never say, I need riboflavin.
For people who are not vegan and who are interested in improving their health and not contributing to factory farming, I encourage you to consider becoming vegan. And if that seems like a lot to do in one move, maybe for one day a week, don't eat meat.
Doing whatever your part is to stop animals from being tortured and slaughtered is always the right thing to do.
Get educated about it.
Stop eating meat. Stop eating processed food, man. Try to get off the genetically modified food. Don't eat any animal flesh. Don't eat eggs. Don't eat dairy.
You can be fabulous. You can go have an organic margarita. You can get a lap dance. You can wear pasties if you want. You can do whatever you want and still be vegan and animal friendly and cruelty free.
We have a long way to go. Agribusiness is very powerful. They're very entrenched. But as time goes and as people learn, I think change is inevitable. It's so wonderful to be here with all of you and to be eating this great vegan meal and talking about these issues that most people don't think about.